Hey guys, how are you doing? Are you feeling good? I hope so. Welcome to our new lesson for mathematical subject. Before we start the first lesson in chapter 11, you should to show me what you know. Check your understanding of important skills. You need to solve only 4 questions to show me your understanding of important skills. These questions are called parts of a whole. Parts of a whole. Question 6, 7, 8 and 9. You need them only for your new lesson. And they are in page 599. Hey, stop! Don't open the page. After I finish my explaining, you should to solve them in your book through your watching the videos that I have prepared for you. Are you ready? Let's get started. Here we go. Question 6. Write a fraction for each shaded part. What fraction should I write here under this circle in question 6? Great. You know there is one part is shaded over all of the circle. Great. You know that 1 over 2 because I have only one shaded part, so I wrote 1 shaded part over all of them. 1, 2, 1 and 2. You know that before. Great job. Question 6 finished. Let's see question number 7. How many parts are shaded in this? Only great 1. So you should write 1 up in the numerator. Down, you should to count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, so 1 over 8. Question 8. How many parts are shaded? Only 1. So 1 over what? Great, 1 over 4. Question 9. How many shaded parts are there in question 9? Excellent. 3 over what? 3 over 4. Here we go, guys. Great job. As you see, our title for our new lesson is angles and fractional parts of a circle. Angles and fractional parts of a circle. And our essential question is, how can you relate angles and fraction parts of a circle? How can you relate? We will know after my explaining. Are you ready? Let's take the first part, which is investigate. Can you see this picture? Of course, yes. So, what can you see in the picture? Maybe one of you is going to tell me it's a circle divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Divided into 12 equal parts. Great thinking. So you can answer the first question, which is, how many equal parts are there in this circle? Great. 12. And the second question is, what fraction does represent the shaded part? If I shade only one part, like this, what fraction does represent the shaded part? Excellent. 1 over 12. The third question is, could the fraction make an angle? Could the fraction make an angle? Yes, this fraction make an angle. Look at my rays. Here you can see the first ray for the angle, and here the second ray to the same angle here. This fraction, of course, could make an angle, and the vertex here is the center of the circle. Okay, and the fourth question is, how can you convert this circle into a clock? For me, yes I can. I'm gonna name every part like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then I'm gonna draw two hands of the clock. Look, the first hand and the second hand. Okay, and I'm gonna ask you 1/12, 1 over 12, or 1/12 equals how many minutes? 1/12 equal how many minutes? This is your turn to answer me. 1/12, as you see here, when I go to this 1, when I shade all of this part, how many minutes are there in this part? Great! Only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exactly 5 minutes. 5 minutes equal what? Equal 1/12. Equal 1/12. Great. Question 2. 2/12. 2/12. Here 1/12. 12. And here when you complete to 2/12, 6, 7, 8, 9, and exactly 10. How many minutes equal 2/12? 10 minutes. Great job. And 2/12 I can simplify it. I can use a simplifying, which is 1/6. Do you remember equivalent fraction? Here too, you can divide it by 2 to get 1 in the simplest form. And when you divide up, you should divide down by the same number. Divided by 2. Divided by what? 2. Great job. Your answer is gonna be 6. So 2/12 equal 10 minutes equal 1/6. So the last question, 3/12. When you complete to here, 3/12. When you complete to 3, from the beginning to 3, how many minutes? Great. 15. 15 minutes. 15 minutes equals what? Let's simplify this fraction. 3 divided by what? And 12 divided by what? 3 divided by 3 gives you 1. And 12 divided by 3 gives you 4. Yes, this part, all of these parts represent 1/4. Represent 1/4 or 1/4. All of them represent 1/4. Great. Next. 4/12. when you want to complete to 4, 4 twelfths. Here 1 twelfth, 2 twelfths, 3 twelfths, 4 twelfths. Exactly 4 twelfths equal how many minutes? Great, 20 minutes. And 4 twelfths, when you want to write it in the simplest form, I'm gonna divide it by what? By 4. And here I'm gonna divide it by what? By 4. Also, 4 divided by 4 equals 1. And 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Yes. So, this part, this angle represent 1/3. Great. Next, 6 12. 6 12. When I complete 5 12 and 6 12, how many minutes are there in this part? Oh, this part. So 6 12. Great, 30 minutes. And when I want to write 6 12 in the simplest form, what should I divide by? Divide by 6. Great. Up and down. Divide by 6. 6 divided by 6, guys, gives you 1. And 12 divided by 6 gives you, great, 2. So 6 12 equal 1/2. Equals 1/2. So all of this part, or all of this part, is represent 1/2. Great. Next, 9 12. 9 12. When I want to complete to 9, from the beginning to 9, how many minutes are there? Great, 45. And when I want to write 9 12 in the simplest form, divided by what? I can divide it by 3. I can divide it down by 3 also. 9 divided by 3 gives me exactly 3. And 12 divided by 3 exactly 4. So now 9 12ths represent 3/4. 3/4. All of this part from the beginning to 9 represent 3/4 or 3/4. 3 what? Quarters. Okay, here we go. Now let's go to the second part in our lesson, which is make connections. You can relate fractions and angles to the hands of a clock. You can what? You can relate fraction and angles to the hands of a clock. Can you see this picture? What is represent? This part, what is represent? What does it represent? Yes, 1/12. Great. Let the hands of the clock represent the rays of an angle. Each 5 minutes mark represents a 1/12 turn clockwise. What does it mean, clockwise? Clockwise means the way that the hands move on the clock. The way, look at this ray, the way that hands move on the clock? Look at this picture. Can you see how many minutes here? Exactly 15 minutes. Okay, the minutes hand makes a what turn clockwise? How many parts can you see here? 1/4, 2/4, or 3/4, or 1 whole? Great! 1 or 3 or 2. Great, 1/4. Can you see my answer? 1/4, which was 3. Which was 3/12. Here, can you see 1/12 plus 2/12 plus 3/12? All of them gives me 1/4. Gives me 1/4. Okay, let's see another example. How many minutes can you see in the blue part? Exactly 30 minutes. 30 minutes. The minutes hand makes. The minute hand makes a. Which fraction can you write? Exactly half. If you told me half, you are right. Half means how many 12s? Great, 6/12. Because I have here 12 12s, so 6/12 or 1/2. Do you understand it? 1/12 plus 1/12, 2/12, 3/12, 4/12, 5/12, 6/12, 6/12. Great, or 1/2. Let's go to the next example. The next example told us 45 minutes. The 45 minutes makes which fraction does represent 45 minutes? The minute hand makes a what? Turn clockwise. Clockwise because I'm going to the way that hands move on the clock. 40 minutes will give us which fraction? If you told me 3/4, you are right. If you told me 1/12, 2/12, 3/12, 4/12, 5/12, 6/12, 7, 8, 9/12, you are right. 9/12 or 3/4. 9/12 or 3/4. Okay, the last example with us in this page is 60 minutes. 60 minutes will represent which fraction? Can you see? 60 minutes gives us 12/12 or 1 whole. 12/12 or 1 whole or 1 full. Turn clockwise. Don't forget this word, clockwise, because I'm going with the way that hands go or move on the clock. Okay? Let's go to the next page. Here, the time of Sharon show you should to practice till what fraction? What fraction? I'm asking you about the fraction. What fraction of the circle the shaded angle represents? What fraction of the circle the shaded angle represent? For number 1, what should I write for this fraction? How many parts are there? Exactly 2 parts. So I'm gonna write the fraction that represent the shaded part, which is, good job teacher, 1/2, 1/2. Question 2. What fraction represent the shaded part? What fraction does represent the shaded part in question number 2? Great, exactly 1/4 or 1/4. If you try to complete the parts, you will see 1/4. Let's see question 3. How many parts are shaded in question 3? Try to imagine. Great! 3/4 or 3/4. 3/4. Let's see question 4. How many parts does represent the shaded part? Great! 1 whole. 4/4 or 1 whole. Now time for question 5. How many shaded parts are there? 2/4 or 1/2? Exactly 1/2. Question 6. Do you remember that from the beginning? From the first picture that I show you? Yes, exactly 1/12. Good job, guys. Let's go to the next page. Tell whether the angle on the circle shows. Tell whether the angle on the circle shows 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, or 1 full turn, clockwise or counterclockwise. I'm gonna explain this word during my solving. Here, question 7. How many parts are there in this picture? In this question 7. How many parts are there? How many parts are there? When I complete the part, I'm gonna see 4 parts, so my answer should be 1 part over 4. So it's 1/4. 1/4 turn counterclockwise. Counterclockwise means the opposite direction. Look at this ray. The opposite direction that the hands move on the clock. This is the opposite. This is the opposite direction. This is the opposite direction that hands move on the clock. The correct direction, the correct way that hands move on, look to this way. And the opposite is called counterclockwise. I hope you understand this part. If you don't understand, back a little and listen again. Question 8. 1/4, 1/4, or 1/2, or 3/4. When you want to complete the parts, you can state them. 1, 2, 3. 3/4. Great. 3/4 turn counterclockwise or clockwise. Could you state this direction? Is it right with the way that hands move on the clock or not? Exactly. Sorry, this is wrong word. It's clock. Wise. It's a clock. Wise. Yes. Now we've finished our lesson. I hope all of you understood the lesson. If you don't understand any part, please back to the part that you have not understand it. Then listen to this part again and see you next time. Bye bye.